Alrighty, I think we're a go. How y'all doing? It has been... It's been an alright week, I think. Not much noteworthy on my end for like the past few days. So, how have the rest of y'all been for a while? Sorry if I'm a little bit out of it. I slept in pretty late today, like I think until like 2 p.m. And I kind of rushed to make sure that everything was ready for the stream today. So I'm just a tiny bit scatterbrained, but I have everything ready to go. I have like all my references and stuff for the character that I'm gonna draw today. And yeah, I've got some water, because I know y'all are gonna be using the water redeem. It always happens. I see my friend Jasper in the chat. Welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoy yourself. Have any of you been like doing anything for Pride Month recently? Gone to any Pride events or anything like that? I was supposed to go to an LGBT clothing swap on Sunday. Emphasis on was supposed to, cause like the night before, or rather the day before, I was visiting my mom along with my brother, and before we left for my mom's place, we met up at my place so that we could order a lift, and I closed my bedroom door because I didn't want Jet to like get into my bedroom. I just wanted him to stay like out in the living room where his like litter box and his food and everything are. Makes sense, right? But I was in such a rush that I didn't realize Jet was actually in my room when I closed the door. So, when I came back, I saw him come out of my room, and I like looked around my room for any sign of like where he might have peed or something. And like I couldn't find anything, so I was like, all right, I guess he held it. Good boy. And hours later, I'm talking like maybe 1 or 2 in the morning, I was finally getting ready to go to sleep. I was just laying down, just getting comfortable, and I smelled it. And it was on my memory foam pillow. So I spent basically the whole night washing my memory foam pillow and like trying to dry it. But those of you who own memory foam pillows know that once those things get wet, they stay wet. So I was just staying up late for no reason in that case, just trying to get this thing dry because it was not going to dry in a timely manner. But yeah, I think I was awake up until like maybe 6 in the morning. And I actually had to message Jasper because we were supposed to go to that clothes swap thing together, and I was like, hey man, Jet peed on my memory foam pillow. I can't do anything today. And that sucked because I was really looking forward to that. Because like, I have a bunch of binders that I don't have to wear anymore, and I was hoping to be able to give them to some other trans guys who could use them, and I couldn't do that. Thanks, Jet. I'm not actually mad at him. I know it was my fault, but I like pretending to blame him. So yeah, that was like my Sunday into Monday. What fandoms am I in? Might be a good idea to, like, look at some of the accessories that my Spacona is wearing, and also just, like, consider looking around the rest of my channel, because, like, a bunch of the fandoms that I'm in I do content for. Like, my, I think my, motto or something is, like, a universe of fandoms or something like that. I can't really remember right now, but it definitely has to do with, like, me making a bunch of fandom content. So, I don't know, I feel like the answer to that should be pretty obvious if you just look. I think there's a rainbow wardrobe thing we can drop by at the Loring Pride, though. Yeah, I'm hoping that's the case. I'm pretty sure it is. So I'll pack up a few things that I want to take there and do that. Also, please try not to spam the chat with, like, the same message over and over. I guarantee that I'm reading all of them, it's just that it takes a while sometimes for me to respond to them all. Just to, you know, just have a little bit of decorum. So Jet was being sneaky by peeing on your memory foam pillow. Yeah, it was like, I couldn't even smell it up until, you know, I was laying down on the thing. But like, believe me, I've looked around my entire room, just like, feeling everything and sniffing everything I could think of, just to, like, make double, triple, extra sure. And I thought I was in the clear up until I was just starting to fall asleep for the night. And then I was like, God damn it. But yeah, I hope y'all have been able to go to, like, some Pride events on your own. And if not, I hope you've been drawing some fun LGBT art. Hello, Connor. I see you in the chat. And I'm curious about how many of y'all are also preparing for ARTFIGHT like myself. Because, like, I know I'm doing these streams to prepare for it, but I'm also kind of curious about who else could be watching these that is also partaking in it. Or at least is planning to partake in it. It's not live yet, but the team theme, like, reveal is gonna be pretty soon, I think. So I'm excited for that. I hope we get something good. Caden's just like, if you want to participate, there's not a whole lot of time left to prepare. I'm thinking of redrawing one of my OCs wearing bi-colors. She's an ally and her husband is bisexual. By the way, he's bisexual. I forgot to announce. Mason, don't take this the wrong way or anything, but, how old are you? I'm not trying to be weird about it or anything, but, like, your messages are kind of giving, like, pretty young viewer vibes. And I don't want people who are, like, 15 or younger to be engaging with my channel, that's all. Almost forgot you had a Dead by Daylight OC. Yeah, I do. I want to make a killer OC as well, but so far I only have my Survivor boy. Which is ironic considering I'm playing as Doctor in Dead by Daylight right now. You're 18? Alright. I'll take your word for it. But yeah, I can't wait to show Gale to you all, but I do want to keep just like talking first, because like I've been saying these last few times, I don't want to be the kind of person who just like starts streaming and goes straight into the content anymore. I want to take a little time and talk to y'all first, because that's nice. Been listening to music from LGBTQIA plus artists, bands, and rappers. If you're in my Discord server, I genuinely can't remember if you are. My memory sucks, but if you are, maybe you can drop some of those in, like the Discord server. Yeah, I don't really care about GTA 6. That's all I'm gonna say on the matter. I don't care about Grand Theft Auto as a whole, to be honest. So, you have fun with it, I guess. How's Pride Month treating you, by the way? Any parades nearby or merch brought? Not yet. The big events are going to be... Well, the biggest event is going to be on the 29th, because there's going to be a huge parade in the Twin Cities, and that'll also be the last day of the biggest Pride Festival in the Twin Cities. And usually, that Pride event has like a bunch of booths that give away free stuff. So I always wear like an empty backpack or something like that, just so I can like have a place to put all the free stuff that I get every year. I have other projects that hold attention at the moment, so I might not have time to do ARTFIGHT. That is all right. If you ever want to do any art trades, you have plenty of art friends in the Discord server, and I'm sure that they, and me perhaps, would be willing to do an art trade sort of thing with you anytime, because that's basically what ARTFIGHT is, just on a grander scale. I'm my fat boy in the stroller if you need to carry stuff. Yeah, by the way, I was actually talking about this a few days ago, but Jasper's cat, that fat boy that they mentioned in the chat, that is actually Jet's boyfriend. I'm not even kidding, because like if you're in my Discord server, you saw the pictures of those two cats decked out in Pride regalia and like straight up licking each other's faces. It is adorable. And like whenever Jasper comes to my place without bringing Carlisle, Jet gets super upset. And from what I remember, whenever Jasper comes back to their apartment smelling like Jet, Carlisle gets super upset. Because it's like, why would you two hang out and like not bring us to see our boyfriends? That's very funny. Careful, Mark, the trolls might say animals aren't LGBT. Yeah, I want them to tell that to lions, penguins, seahorses, certain breeds of fish. What other animals? I'm pretty sure that, like, horses have displayed homosexual behavior in the past. Every single, like, Christmas decoration that features two bright red cardinals. There is a lot of queer stuff in nature. Frogs can change gender. That's another one. Yeah, clownfish. That's why I said certain breeds of fish, because I know that there's a lot of fish that can change their gender. And I'm gonna sit here and just, like, list them all. I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the frickin' frogs gay. No, Mason, you may not send YouTube videos in the chat. Hello, Kate the Storyteller. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? Hope everybody's having a great Pride Month. Alrighty, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch over to the drawing screen. And you can see I have a few references here. I also have the first reference that I drew for Gale, so let's zoom in on this and take a bit of a closer look. You can probably tell this is quite old. But yeah, Gale Fitzgerald, survivor, 27 years old, he, him, trans, a soft-hearted yet determined man from 1996. Even in the harshest of times, he tries to have an optimistic outlook on life. He has an incredible ability to tame the killers and even befriend them. He's a much-needed ray of sunshine in an otherwise dark world. All this to say, I ship him with several of the killers. And, let's see, I'm gonna zoom in on, like, his abilities and stuff. Y'all can take a moment to, read this of your own volition. I want to braid his hair, says Sock Draws. That is a valid reaction. He gets to smooch Jason. He gets to smooch Jason and Michael and Ghostface and I think a few of the others, but I can't remember right now. What's interesting is that they actually released a trans character into the game. I think she's a medic. I heard about that, but I haven't looked too much into it because, contrary to popular belief, even though I have a Dead by Daylight OC, I don't actually play Dead by Daylight. I know that feels like a crime, but, like, I don't know, unless I would be playing with just, like, close friends, I don't know how comfy I would be playing it, because I know that general lobbies have, like, unfair players and cheaters and trolls and stuff, and I would just want to go in and have a good time. But yeah, I've got yet another, like, pose reference base here from, Melon Soup. I'm gonna try not to trace it this time. I'm gonna see if I can just, like, have it off to the side and sort of recreate the pose on my own. And then I have, like, a sort of outfit for him over here. I feel like if there's anything over here that I'm gonna trace, it's definitely gonna be the shoes. 'Cause, like, let's be real, who freehands shoes? But yeah, that's what I'm working with today, and I'm gonna see about getting started. Don't even get me started. Lower my correction a little bit. Oh, right, by the way, I know that The new chapters of Deltarune came out recently, and I want to respectfully ask all of you to not talk about it in the chat right now. I don't have anything against Undertale or Deltarune, far from it. I just don't want anyone to be discussing spoilers for the sake of anyone who hasn't experienced it and wants to be able to do so. So just wait a while. There's the water. Thank you. 1 second. Just want to get the general location of these eyes right, and then I'll take that sip. It's like, this is going to be a very loose pose sketch to start out with. Alright, that's good. Alright, I've had my sip now. The one thing that I will say about the Deltarune chapters that dropped, there's an enemy in there. I'm not going to say which one, but it has, like, vocal lines that it says. And, like, the things that it says are quickly becoming a vocal stim for me. My Moirail knows who I'm talking about, and we can both agree that, like, the one that I'm talking about is, like, super sweet, but also apparently, like, a really hard boss fight. There she is! Speak of the devil and the devil shall appear. Hi, Sierra! Have you gotten to... Did you see yet, Sierra, who I'm working on today? Have you been here that long, or did you just join in? Yes, Sierra, I was just talking about you because I was talking about how there's one particular enemy in Deltarune that we both love who's a big sweetheart, and his voice lines are becoming a vocal stim for me, but I don't want to be too precise because I don't want to spoil it for anyone else. Well, today, Sierra, I'm working on making Gale a new reference. So I'm starting out by just, like, his pose, and I've got a few references for his outfit and stuff, but that's who I'm going to be working on today because that's who the Discord server voted for. It was 8 votes total. 7 votes went to Gale, only 1 vote went to Melchior. My poor D&D boy is getting no love. You should wear flannel? Nah, he's wearing Windbreaker. He's a 90s boy, I gotta deck him out in Windbreakers. But maybe one of these days I'll draw him in some flannel, like, for, like, an autumnal piece. Speaking of Deltarune, I added some Deltarune Lofi to the playlist. There was one lo-fi song that I played last week that the algorithm wasn't very happy with, so I had to remove that one and get something new, so I got one new Undertale and a Deltarune. I'm also low-key wondering if there's any, like, lo-fi remixes of DA games music. Because I think that would be pretty cool. Let's see. Gale is also, kind of adaptable, I guess is the word I'm looking for. I'm not entirely sure because, like, sometimes he'll be fully able-bodied, but sometimes he'll, like, I'll be giving him, like, an artificial leg or something. I just keep swapping between the two, like I can't decide. But Gale is, as I've discussed in the Discord server, he is fluent in sign language. Like, he could be an interpreter if he wanted to. Yeah, by the way, for those in the chat, Jasper isn't joking. They're a cyborg. They've got a robot heart. Malleable / fluid kind of character to fit what situation you want. Yes. And I love using the free transform tool because I'm like, if he's not standing up straight enough for my liking, I can just fix that. Like, before, after. I know it's a minuscule difference, but it makes a difference to me. My friend the robot. Alright, let me think here. So I think I'm gonna have him doing like I don't want him to be doing this arm pose, so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have him be doing like having a case of dinosaur hand, and then his other hand can be holding a flashlight. Mason, I'm genuinely trying not to be mean here, and I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but you're being a little bit obnoxious in the chat. Could you maybe dial it down just a little bit? Thank you. Sorry. Am I still a FNAF fan? I guess I would say that I'm more a fan of the movie at this point than I am about the games, because A, I've just stopped keeping track of the game lore altogether at this point. B, my experience of the fandom through Percy and Springtrap was not a very positive one for, like, obvious reasons. Like, I appreciated the fans and everything, but the haters were just so obnoxious, and the people who lacked any reading comprehension just drove me nuts. And I guess for like a third thing, what else? It's like, it's just, the movies are easier to like understand. They're not so convoluted, and I appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into them more than like the games at this point. I don't know. I don't know if like what I'm saying is making a whole lot of sense, but I have more positive association with the movies right now than I do with the games. So I'm appreciative of FNAF for like, you know, getting my channel to where it is. And I'll always have a special place in my heart for Percy and Springtrap as a whole, because again, that came from mine and Sierra's RPs, but like, it's run its course in my mind. And like, that's obviously so because it's no longer mine. Hello, Katie. Good to see you here. I hope you're doing well. I'm not gonna go on about this for too long, but I remember, I think the last time you were in the chat, Katie, we were kind of touching on DA games and stuff, and how I was kind of withholding my judgment until I knew more about the situation as a whole. And let me tell you, I'm so glad that I did, because it turns out every single thing was false. Everything against DA games, everything against Saberspark, everything against Black Griffin, every single person that was accused in that whole entire drama, completely innocent. Yep, every single little thing was debunked. I mean, at the very least, the stuff against Saberspark is kind of like, you have to make your own decision about it, but I'm on the decision that, like, given all of the evidence that I've seen, I'm willing to be on the side of, I think that he's innocent. Unfortunately, it is just one of those things where it's like, no one can ever know the truth 100% sure. All of the quote-unquote evidence that could be out there is out there, and you just have to look at it all and decide for yourself. But given everything that I've seen, I think this is a pretty safe route to go as far as Saberspark. But for DA games in particular, yeah, like, if I'm right, the accuser, like, came forward in an interview basically taking it all back and debunking everything. Yeah, I'm sure. If y'all are interested, I can drop some links to some videos that, like, showcase why I feel the way I do about those. But again, I don't want to dwell on it too awful long, just because it's not why we're here, and also, like, I'm not that kind of a channel. But yeah, like, long story short, DA Games is pretty much confirmed at this point to be innocent. Saberspark is, like, look at everything and decide for yourself, but I'm erring on the side of I think he's innocent because between the stuff with DA Games and the stuff with Black Griffin, both of them being innocent, I'm just willing to bet that the same goes for Saberspark because it all just kind of lines up in a way that, like, these people were targeting them because they were jealous of their success. That's how it looks to me. But that's my final word on the matter. Yeah, that's my thoughts on it, Katie. Wow, envy much anyways. But yeah, I will drop those links later on in the comments section, so stay tuned for that. Alright, carry on. So who dis? This is my Dead by Daylight character, Gale Fitzgerald. I have an older reference of him up here. This is a few years old, you can probably tell, but that's him as he was before, and I just want to update his, like, reference so that he's good in time for ARTFIGHT. Always flip your canvas, guys. You never know what you'll find to fix. Took his arm a little bit closer, I think. Let's see, before, after. Yeah, the arm looks a little bit better to me, but I think I could still stand to move the leg over a little bit. Whoops, wrong layer. And already this looks so much better. The benefits of flipping your canvas. Thoughts on Springtrap and Dead by Daylight? I am so happy for everyone. Everyone won in this situation. Even me, who's like not a big fan of the FNAF games anymore, because they got Matthew Lillard to voice Springtrap, and like it's movie Springtrap. And like if I remember correctly, there's like costumes for him too, and one of them is Glitch Trap. And I'm just like, we we stay winning. And I'm also glad that, like, legitimately, it seems like Matthew is just having so much fun playing Springtrap in whatever sort of, like, stuff for him that he touches. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the movie or Dead by Daylight. It just seems like he's having fun playing the character, just like Jim Carrey is having fun playing Eggman recently. And more than anything, that's what makes me happy. I haven't watched The Owl House, but I've noticed that my art has been starting to do that Owl House lip thing. Like Zoink Scoob, I'm in Dead by Daylight! Would like lose Hunter or Rain. I hear that I would also like The Collector. I've seen bits and pieces of The Owl House. I just haven't sat down and watched it. I've watched all of Gravity Falls, though. I love Gravity Falls. So, I guess this will be the basic pose for him, and I can go ahead and scrap the pose reference. Get the clothes references back. Why didn't I put these in a file? There we go. Still don't forgive Disney for canning Owl House. We managed to get an ending, but still. At least y'all got 3 seasons. Gravity Falls only got 2. Alright, let me focus on Gail's hair first. Parts his hair in the middle, and I deliberately didn't give him a widow's peak. And he also doesn't have any bangs, so his hair just kind of falls. He has very straight hair, very silky. And honestly, his hair is very much inspired by the hair of real-life artist Kylie Hankey, who, in my neck of the woods, is known for, like, a bunch of Homestuck stuff, including singing You Can't Fight the Homestuck. but in the realm of the greater internet, she's more known for the Zuby Bunny being like, I ate so much fucking shit on the 4th of July. I said I wouldn't, but then I did, and I totally fucked up my diet. You know, that one. His hair is largely based on hers, because he has like a white streak in his super blonde hair, and so does she. Even though you haven't personally played the game, which killer is your favorite design-wise? I'd have to look at all of them again, just to be sure. But, like, my favorite killer overall that I simp for personally is the Death Slinger. I remember I actually made a TikTok about that because, like, I remember Sierra was flabbergasted when I told her, and I had to make a TikTok that was basically recreating her reaction. Let me see if I can, like, get the link to that and drop it in the chat. Phone, speak to me. Why are you being so slow? Yeah, the Death Slinger, that's what I said. The hash-slinging slasher. Again, if I'm like tripping on my words today, I apologize. I'm just a tiny bit out of it. I'm eepy. Alright, I found it. Gonna, let's see, copy the link. And then I'll head over to the live stream chat on my phone. See if I can drop it there. No, I definitely said Death Slinger. It might just be like my mic kind of dropping the sounds a little bit. It does that sometimes. But yeah, there's the link to the TikTok. Yeah, the reason it kind of, like, drops some of the sounds and the words that I say sometimes is because I have my mic on, like, a setting that kind of filters out background noise. And I don't know why it does that when it's on the background noise filter. It just does. It's like, obviously I'm gonna have his hair kind of wafting in the wind so it's more visible. I just love characters with long flowing hair. Hair so smooth that, like, they barely even need conditioner. It just never tangles. I do also have a bit of a headcanon about Gale that, like, beneath all of his long, silky, luscious locks, I like to imagine that, like, he actually has an undercut. It's just that he has so much long hair on top that you can barely see it. But whenever he moves his hair to the side and you see the back of him, he's got like a little rat tail at the base of his neck on the back, because that was like the fashion back in like the 90s and early 2000s was rat tails. Now, how many of y'all in the chat are too young to know what a rat tail is? Because I'm wondering how many of y'all are hearing me say rat tail so much and being like, now what the fuck is a rat tail? Dude gives me damsel in distress vibes. He is honestly the farthest thing from. If anything, his whole thing about, like, you know, quote unquote taming killers and befriending them and stuff. If there's any minors in the chat, you didn't hear this from me, but this dude is a huge slut. He just, like, he'll flirt with the killers. That's his thing. And, like, he flirts with them, and he does befriend them, but he also, like, simultaneously gets just, like, a harem of killer boyfriends. And that's how he's able to avoid being hurt and killed in each round, is that, like, he winds up in rounds where one of them that he's in a relationship with just happens to be the killer for that round, and they're just like, oh, hey, sweetie, how you doing? But yeah, that's Gale's shtick. If there's any mods in the chat, I think I've had enough of Mason. There's no way that you're 18 years old and you're asking questions like that. Yale probably gives away other survivors' locations to Ghostface. Actually, let's look at his perks again, like his abilities. Because I gave him some. Alright. Friendliest face. Killers and survivors cannot seem to resist your angelic nature. When in proximity to survivors, any healing done to your character is 3 to 5 to 8 seconds shorter. When in proximity to killers, 30 to 50 to 75% chance their attacks will miss. Not giving up. When hooked, your unrelenting hatred of the entity increases your chance to escape by 10, 20, or 30%. And motivational speaker. When near a killer carrying a survivor, press M2 to yell an inspiring phrase to fill their bar by 20%. If this causes the survivor to wiggle off immediately, all nearby survivors will cheer, revealing their locations. So, you're not entirely wrong, Jeremy. What do you think of Aurella? I haven't looked into her a whole awful lot. You know me, I don't actually play Dead by Daylight. I probably should. But, I've only ever heard good things about her, so I can't complain. Can't believe we got Nick Cage and Springtrap in one game. It's beautiful. Stellar supporters, can we get some Nick Cage emotes in the chat? Because y'all have a Nick Cage emote you can use. Yeah, Ghostface is one of the ones that Gale has the hots for. Definitely. But I was also thinking the other day, and I brought this up to both Roxas and Sierra in like private discussions. But when I made Gale years ago, I just kind of like made him by himself. I didn't make a killer to like go with him, if that makes sense. And I've kind of been thinking I probably ought to do that. Because like usually when new survivors are introduced, they're supposed to be introduced with a killer, right? Yeah, Gale is into a lot of things. Lots of things. Definitely dislikes Freddy Krueger. 100%. That is one killer that, like, would flirt with Gale before... Like, he would flirt with Gale first, and Gale would go, ew. He's into a lot, but he's not into that. Again, his main ones are Ghostface, Michael, Jason, because it's an AU. Jason can be in an AU if I want him to. That's not a copyright thing. And who else? Pyramid Head. Absolutely no regrets there. Let's see. Ji-woon is a whole narcissist. That was actually a thing in the roleplay that Sierra and I have with, like, Gale and all the Dead by Daylight boys. Ji-woon was introduced in our RPs as, like, a potential candidate, but Ji-woon was entirely too focused on being with Ghostface and making Ghostface exclusive, like separating him from like all the other boys. And when Ghostface figured that out, he was not happy. Yeah, drama. I swear, Sierra and I have enough RPs to, like, fill up a library. Oni, he's on friendly terms with, and I don't mean like, you know, friendly nudge nudge wink wink suggestive kind. He's genuinely on friendly terms with Oni because there was like, I know there's another killer who's like some sort of ghost girl, some sort of like Japanese ghost girl. And Gale also speaks Japanese, and because he's kind of like, I guess I would say, like, close enough in age, like, enough so that they're peers. He's, like, friends with her, and so the fact that he's friends with her makes the Oni respect him. Because the Oni's like, that's my granddaughter. Rin, that's right. Thank you for being patient with me. I know I'm not very good with names. Yeah, I haven't considered how he would be with the Blight or the Trapper. I would have to look at a few more of the killers and kind of, like, figure that out, I guess. I got Springtrap and Gale in one game, and Mark might consider. I don't think I would pair Gale with Springtrap. I've had enough OC x Springtrap for one life. Plus, I mean, look at Gale. You can't tell me that all those same people who are like, oh, Percy's actually Charlotte, who's like a little girl. You can't tell me that those people wouldn't also look at Gale and be like, but that's a girl. Because no one can hacking read. Those people would say Jason is problematic because he's technically 10 if you ignore the second and third movies. Yeah. I'm of this point at least I'm at this point where I'm just like, listen, there've been so many movies with adult Jason and he's been around for so long that even if the like OG creator was all like, those other movies aren't canon, etc., etc., then like it's just, you can't just throw all that stuff away, you know? It's been too much at this point. You just can't. I wonder why my music stopped. Let me check something here. I think I see what the problem is. There we go. Yeah, Jason is a sweet boy. Hello, Lily. Right, and it was also the style back in the 90s to wear, like, loose-fitting jeans like this. Which, like, I loosely communicated in his first design, but, like, I don't think I did it very well. Like, already, let's take a look at this pant leg that I've drawn and compare it to the pant leg that Gale had in his OG reference. Because, like, that shit looks like cardboard. Yeah, it's not that they look a little bit short, it's that, like, he just rolled his pants legs up. So, I guess my thought process was, since he's in Dead by Daylight, he should probably be able to run. And so, like, him kind of lifting up his pants like that, you know, rolling up the pant legs would probably be able to help him run and stuff. But it just doesn't look good. So I'm just gonna keep his pants long and loose because, like, if he's gonna be romancing killers more than running, what's the point of him rolling up his pants? Alright, so with those in place now, let's see about tracing these shoes. Because I don't know about y'all, I don't think anybody's gonna give a rat's ass if I trace shoes. At least for his character reference. Because, like, I know on ARTFIGHT, if you were to, like, trace something as part of an attack, that wouldn't be allowed. But this should be just fine. Alright, shoe number 1 in place. Yeah, tracing over stuff like shoes, I don't think is cheating. And that's actually another thing, Katie, like, I know that it's a funny thing on the internet to be all, oh haha, you know, feet, some sort of, like, you know, suggestive thing, and I'm like, can we not now? Like, it's run its course. That should do it. Because, like, it feels like people have forgotten that feet aren't an inherently, like, sexual body part. Because people keep taking this too far. Like to draw claw-like fingernails. I do too. Gale would probably only have them for, like, a Halloween costume or something, though. Honestly, I can picture Ghostface being the one who gives Gale, like, a claw manicure for Halloween in the first place. And then they can trash talk all the other killers and survivors. like Ghostface is all, oh my gosh, Gale, you're not gonna believe what I saw Dwight doing the other day. And Gale's just like, girl, tell me. What was that boy up to this time? It's like he leans over and whispers something in Gale's ear, and Gale's just like, oh, he did not. Be even more funny if that was happening just like in the middle of a match, just a manicure going on, the manicure and the trash talk, and all the other survivors are like off to the side, just being like, should we just like do our usual thing? And Gale's just like, don't worry, this is a chill one, just like relax, I'll be here, so will he. Yeah, nothing to worry about here. But yeah, now if you ever see anybody in like the comments of my art posts being all, man, you're so good at drawing shoes, how do you do that? Now you know. How would an interaction between Gale and Chucky look? Chucky would probably, like, go after the other, like, boyfriends and stuff. Just because, like, he's Chucky. He's not on anybody's side except his own. So he would go after, like, Gale's boyfriends. And, of course, since he's got so many of them, they would just body him. And Gale would just be entirely unimpressed. He's like, this was your best plan? They'd punch Chucky like a football. Honestly, I think I remember that happening in one of the role plays, actually, because, like, I think I remember, since Jason is a part of them, at Crystal Lake, there's cabins where, like, showers are available. And I remember Gale was taking a shower in one of them because, like, you probably get dirty as hell playing Dead by Daylight if you're actually one of the survivors. So he was, like, taking a shower. And then, like, Chucky apparently appeared in the window and, like, Gale punted him through the window. And, like, the other, like, killers heard him screaming. So they all just found Chucky outside and again just started wailing on him, like that one JoJo's Bizarre Adventure gif where they're all just kicking the one dude on the floor. I mean, would you really expect anything else from him? Yeah, Gale hasn't encountered the Xenomorph in our RPs. There was actually a time where we had them face off against the entity itself and kind of win the ability to leave the realm. And so for the most part since then, whenever we roleplay the Dead by Daylight boys, they're not in Dead by Daylight. They're all just in a different, more useful universe that they fled to. They ran away. They beat the thing and they ran away. Jason would do sign language, and yes, that would be his primary form of communication, as well as Michael's primary form of communication. do that nose, actually. Those lines are a bit too thick. Extra thick. How would Gale be with the trickster or the singularity? I'm not sure about the singularity. Again, that's something I haven't really looked into for a while, but trickster sounds familiar. Let me look into that. Just real quick, I'll Google it. At daylight. Oh, that's Ji Woon. I already talked about him earlier. You can rewatch the stream later on and hear my thoughts on that. Also, random fun fact about Gale. The reason his last name is Fitzgerald is because at the time I was making him, I kind of just had like a bunch of music on shuffle, and one of the songs that came on was The Wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. Real thing that happened, by the way, but I like that song, and I was just in a slightly creative rut when I was listening to it, so it was like, sure, I'll name him Fitzgerald. I already low-key had the name Gale for him in mind, but that's how he got the last name Fitzgerald. Hello, you don't have to shout. I promise you, even if I don't respond to every single message, I see all of them. Yeah, I kind of slept in today. I think I woke up around like 2 p.m. So even though it's like 6:37 right now, I'm just a little bit eepy. I'm honestly kind of surprised at, like, how many people were interested in seeing Gale. Like, just how many people voted for him in the Discord server versus Malchior, because, like, I'm super excited for when I get to work on Malchior on stream. but everyone else was like, do the Dead by Daylight character, please. And I'm like, well, the audience shall get what the audience wants. Already, I'm so happy with, like, the visual improvement of just the sketch of the new one versus the old one off to the side. Alright, so first things first, since this one is technically line art, I'm going to put all the rest of these in that folder. Turn it way down. Save my progress real quick. There we go. And I'm gonna do a BRB real quick, just so I can like do a little bit of stretching before I get to do more of the line art. So sit tight, enjoy some fan art, and I will be back shortly. Okay, we're back. I took a little sip of water and splashed my face a little bit, so I'm a little bit more awake. But I'm just as equally scatterbrained as I was before. Yeah, there's no need to, like ping other people in the chat. This is a pretty slow going chat. It's easy to see everyone's messages. So you can just say our names without pinging us, and we'll know who you're talking to. Everybody can see all these messages. Also, yeah, Jasper, Moonsetter is mostly just, like, kind of a placeholder for now, for, like, my BRB music, because it used to be, Mayday by the Fat Rat, because for the longest time, I could play it on my streams without any issue, but I think one of those, like, you know, phony copyright owner scam things has gotten a hold of it, because it's been, like, copywriting a bunch of my old streams and videos where I used that song. So I'm just like, alright, I guess I'll just use something else. And right now, it's Moonsetter until I find something different. Also, Wolfie, I don't mean to, like, sound weird when I ask this. I asked this earlier for someone else. How old are you? Because, like, again, not to offend or anything, but your messages are kind of giving, like, kind of young person vibes. $25. All right. I'll take your word for it. But just mind decorum. Mind, like, chat etiquette and everything. Hello, Benchu. Nice to see you in the chat. I love that I've gotten so good at drawing hands over the years. It's one of those things where it's like, I keep seeing everybody and their mother talking about how hard it is to draw hands, and meanwhile I can just churn them out. Same goes for wings. I remember I was actually rewatching my birthday live stream the other day, and I saw Connor just, like, remarking how hard it is for him to draw wings and how he hates drawing wings. And for me, I'm like, it's so easy. Maybe I can, like, do a tutorial about how I draw wings sometime. Because it really is just, like, a few small steps to be able to draw really good wings. I get that, Wolfie. I have autism too. Like, sometimes it's a little bit hard for me to tell, like, people's intentions in my live chat is all. That's why I asked. Like, there was one person earlier who, like, was just nonstop talking about, things that weren't on topic. Like, trying so hard to get my attention. And he asked, how do you get gay and trans? And I'm like, I don't vibe with that kind of thing. Because, like, that's not how it works. I'm not the one to ask for permission regarding that anymore, because I no longer own Percy and Springtrap. You would be better off going to the Tumblr blog and asking there, because my good friend Ruby Devilcat is the new owner of Percy and Springtrap. As of April of 2024. Oh, hey, since there's other artists in my chat right now, what do we think of those kinds of people who are like, you can't use the circle tool, that's cheating? It's like, last I checked, it wasn't anyone else's business if I use a circle tool or not. Like, pardon me if I want the flashlight to look like a flashlight. I do apologize if there's, like, long stints of silence from me whenever I'm, like, drawing. I've explained this before on, like, prior streams, but I tend to, like, really enter the focus zone when I'm drawing. Also, I'm just saying handsome people don't have to announce that they're handsome. Do I write stories too? Not usually. I have in the past. Like, I think there might be maybe 1 or 2 fanfics that I wrote on my DeviantArt. But for the most part, the quote-unquote stories that I write are role plays between me and my Moirail Sierra. And those aren't exactly things that I'm gonna publish, but she and I have been role-playing for nearly every single day for our... I think we're coming up on 12 years this year. By the way, I think I've mentioned to you all how 36 is like my lucky number. I was doing some calculating a good while ago about how old I'll be when I get to the point that I've known Sierra for most of my life. And I don't know if it's coincidence or what, but it turns out when I turn 36, that's when I will know Sierra for most of my life. When I learned that fact, I was like, mind blown. What's my opinion on AI art? That's actually a good question because I used to largely be in the defense of it in its early days, I'll be honest, because I was like, it can be used as a tool that people can like build off of if it's given like the right, like I don't know, parameters or something, but like if it's used in the right way, it can be a good tool is what I used to say. But knowing what I know now about how much it's hurting the environment, and how, because largely people just like generate it and then end it there instead of like using it to build or like learn from or something, I hate it. That goes for AI art, AI generated music, AI voices to a certain extent, especially if the person whose voice is being generated did not consent to having their voice be used for AI. If they consented, that's fine. If they consented, I don't have any qualms with it. I haven't seen Terminator, sorry. Also, maybe keep your questions and stuff on topic. No offense. But this is the kind of stuff I was talking about earlier. Like, I genuinely don't want to be mean, but these are some weird questions to be asking a random stranger on the internet. Like, I'm genuinely not trying to hurt your feelings or anything, but you gotta know this because I don't think anybody would want you to repeat this behavior in other live chats. No, I wasn't talking about you, Wolfie. That was a fine question to ask. I was talking about what Joel was asking. Am I a big fan of horror games or no? If so, what's my favorite? There's some horror games that I like. I don't really play horror games so much as I like watch other people play them and learn about them. But obviously I like Bendy and the Ink Machine, Dead by Daylight. I don't really care much about Poppy's Playtime. I don't dislike it, but I'm also just kind of like, about it. But I'll go ahead and just say that, Bendy and the Ink Machine is probably my favorite horror game. Because that's where my husbando Sammy Lawrence is. I would rather not, Joel. Yeah, I like some of the designs in Poppy's Playtime, but like the gameplay itself and the lore just isn't very interesting to me. I wouldn't be very good, I think, at like giving writing advice. I'm just not very good at like writing critique in particular. I mean, you don't have to ask me questions just to, like, be part of the conversation. Like, I don't mind if y'all tell me, like, what's going on with your lives and stuff. Like, things you're working on, things you're doing. I like hearing about that sort of thing. Things you're looking forward to, etc., etc. I'll go ahead and ask again, since it seems like there's a few more people in the chat now than there were earlier. Is anybody else, like, doing anything special for Pride Month? Or is anybody else gonna partake in ARTFIGHT this year? I mean, it doesn't matter to me how many people are watching. I'm just glad that people are engaging with the chat. It makes me happy to see a very active chat room in my streams, because I like engaging with y'all, and the chat is the best place to engage with not just me, but also each other. Can't get this one line there. It's like, why is it that, like, straight or only slightly curved lines are the ones that are the hardest to draw? Alright, and I am not tracing those shoes again, so just copy and paste the line art for those. I know what Gacha Life is. No offense, but I think the fandom is kind of obnoxious. And, like, the game itself is fine. It's a good sort of, like, dress-up thing, I guess. A good thing for, like, planning out OC designs. And that I don't have a problem with. But the fandom itself is annoying. I'm sorry. And I say this as someone who's, like, dabbled in using gacha as, like, an OC making tool before. The fandom is obnoxious. Yeah, I have a felt tip nib on my tablet pen, and it makes my tablet feel like paper, which makes it easier to, like, draw with. But the only major downside is that the felt tip nibs kind of degrade more quickly than like regular plastic ones. So I have to replace them more often, but, like, it just makes the drawing process feel a lot better, in my opinion. I wasn't even aware that y'all could hear the pen as it was, like, sliding on the thing. I hope it's, like, not a bad sound by any means. Yeah, since Gale is from the 90s, he's got to be decked out in all the 90s colors, you know? This is a boy who drinks out of jazz cups. You know the ones. The ones that are like mostly white, but with a little blue and purple squiggle on it. That's called a jazz design. Same, Jasper. They need to bring it back. I'm so sick of beige and gray and brown everything. I missed something in the line art. It's like I'm ready for the era of the sad beige mom to fade out. Bring back color. Make the world interesting again. We gotta go to Goodwill and 80s up our wardrobes, please! We gotta hit up like 5 different Goodwills in a day. Happy Pride Month, everyone. Maybe one of these days I should look into doing, like, just straight up ASMR drawing stream. And maybe, like, if I do that, and if I get enough donations, maybe I'll be, like... if I hit a certain goal while the stream is ongoing, I'll be like... Hey everybody, this is Mark Maker's Drawing ASMR. If I get, like, $50 of donations during this ASMR stream, then I'll, like, make a bunch of ramen or something, and also turn this into a mukbang. Or something like that. What a bright punk that is. That is not pink, that is punk. And then I think for the shirt, I'm gonna just grab that sort of teal color. speaking of ASMR, fellow Cookie Run Kingdom fans, have y'all seen the ASMR video of Eternal Sugar? Because I saw that and I thought that was funny. Like, she does a bunch of funny things in it. Like, she asks if people want to hear her tap a glass jar, and like, instead of there being like little finger taps, it's just like, you know, rapid fire finger taps. It's like just single tap, 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 and she's like, oops, no fingers. Well, now here's a $1 million question for you, Wolfie, to kind of like help you answer your question. Are you, if you're not like gay or anything, and if you're not any kind of trans, if you're just like a complete 100% cishet, here's the $1 million question. Are you an ally to what we as LGBT people stand for? And that's just like, you know, the want to have us be ourselves openly without any sort of like consequence, and like our right to exist, and like how we want to stop the oppression that we're facing in wider society right now. What is your stance on that? I mean, it's one thing to say that, like, you know, you're not an enemy and it doesn't bother you and stuff, but do you support us, is what I'm asking. Do you support people who are like us and, like, the things that we stand for, basically? Like, if one of your friends came up to you and said, hey, I'm being bullied because I'm gay, will you help me? What would your response be? Will you be punished for it? What kind of... That's not what I'm asking here. Politely, that is not what I am asking. Why do you think you would be punished for supporting it? You're asking this to a trans man, like a real-life trans man. I don't know, just the way that you worded your response came off to me as like, you'll support us until you get in trouble for it, and that's not real support. And that's not a good look, honestly. It's nothing to worry about, Ben Chu. It's just someone in the chat who I guess isn't very well educated about, like, LGBT stuff. And it's like, I'm trying to be patient with them, but the stuff that they're saying, I'm not vibing with it a whole awful lot, if I'm gonna be honest. Like, I'm trying to, you know, be patient and understanding, but this is a lot. Hugs would be quite nice, thank you. Matter of fact, there's a chat command you can do for that. For example, if I were to do something like this, wait for it. Wait for it. There. There's also a similar command you can do where instead of hug, you can do slap. Just be sure to, like, mention a user whenever you use the slap or hug command, because it's like, otherwise it's like, who are you hugging? Who are you slapping? The command has to be, like, on its own. It can't be within another message. Technically, you can slap yourself, and honestly, it's kind of funny. I've seen people do it. The thing about the slap command is that it's randomly generated what you end up slapping the person with. Yeah, I made a list of things to, like, have in the slap command, and I think there's, like, more than 30 things that people can be slapped with. Aw, thank y'all for the hugs. And hey, don't forget, there's a lot of other commands you can do if you have enough Stardust for them, and you earn Stardust by just watching and engaging with the stream. So just do exclamation Stardust, all one word, to check how much Stardust you've got. And then if you do exclamation Mecha, then Mecha will take you to his Tumblr page where you can find a full list of commands that you can redeem and how much they cost. All right, really quick, I'm gonna look up a reference. You took the words right out of my mouth, Jasper. That is exactly it. We're trying to say is that it's okay if you're not LGBT, but you support LGBT rights and would support an IRL friend. Asking if you'd be punished makes it sound conditional, and that's not real support. That's kind of why I was, like, taking a deep breath, because I was like, that's not a good look. Alright, so let's see. I think I'll start his eyes with, like, that. There we go. I just wanted to find some good color references for hazel eyes. Yeah, Wolfie, I don't think you were here for this earlier, but earlier there was someone in the chat, and I already talked about this, but they were asking, like, how do you get gay and trans? And I just, like, I had them removed from the chat because, like, that's not how it works, and even if it did, I don't have the patience for that. Oh, whoops. Put those highlights on the wrong layer. The rumor come out. Does Bruno Mars is gay? I'm not sure what a good drawing size for a poster is. Let me get something real quick, actually. Let's see. Type this in. Yeah, it looks like the only time I've ever, like, drawn a poster and, like, had it printed out, I just went with the usual 1920 by 1080 aspect ratio. And if I remember correctly, if you go to a place like Walmart that has, like, a printing place, you can choose how big you want the thing, and it should be able to print it out however big or small you want it. So I would stick to round about that size, maybe like twice as big, just in case. It's like I missed a spot. I'm glad you like it. I like playing around with blush and stuff. I don't usually do it unless their face is just like really plain and needs something, because like you can tell it gives his face a little bit more dimension than if I would just leave it like this. Yeah, a lot of the times when I draw stuff that I intend to make into art prints, I just stick to the regular 8.5 by 11, and if I want it to be bigger, I can always just go to different sites that can cleanly upscale my art, and then just save it for later use. There is one other thing I'm considering adding to Gale. Let me play around with it real quick. See if I like it. Let's see, smaller brush. Then something like you don't have to. It's like I'm not upset at you. It's just something that I'm like, I guess, a little bit sensitive about. But like, you don't have to worry. I'm not mad at you. I'm not upset or anything. I know you're just trying to learn, and honestly, it's a good thing that you're trying to learn. Yeah, once again, Jasper taking the words out of my mouth. Let me see. There's his eye whites. Yeah, like, I hope at no point did I sound like I was, you know, trying to make you feel bad or anything like that. If I did, that wasn't my intention. sometimes this kind of stuff can just be stressful for folks like us. Yeah, I'm always open to constructive criticism and stuff. But yeah, just a little bit of, like, light acne on Gale. Because, like, smooth skin is nice and all, but, like, a lot of people just don't have it. And in a world like Dead by Daylight, where you're dirty and sweating all the time, I think a few pimples are okay. Plus, that way, people in real life who do have acne can look at Gale, who's, like, super cute and, like, rizzed out the wazoo with his harem of slasher boyfriends, and, like, maybe feel good about themselves because of that. Because it's like so many people are all, oh, acne is so ugly and bland, undesirable, etc., etc. And it's like, you can still be attractive even if you have acne. You can be pretty and have acne at the same time. It's not anything to, like, feel bad or self-conscious about, you know? You're welcome. I like making characters that people can relate to. I think I missed another spot. Everything else looks okay. I do love freckles, but I don't think Gale would have them. He's the kind of person who, like, instead of getting freckles, he tans easily. But again, in the world of Dead by Daylight, there's no daylight, so he's pale. Shoes a little bit closer. I'm happy for you, Wolfie, but I haven't seen My Hero Academia, and I don't really care about One Piece. I'm sorry. No offense. I also haven't watched Naruto. I don't think I would really care for it. My middle school art teacher played a few episodes of, like, the first 2 or 3 episodes of Naruto in our art class, like, more than a decade ago. And I was just so put off by them that I was like, yeah, no, I don't think this is doing it for me. I'm just not gonna watch Naruto. And the art style of One Piece puts me off more than the actual size of, like, the anime. I just, in my personal opinion, no offense to anyone who likes it, but in my personal opinion, I think that One Piece looks pretty ugly. So I don't want to watch it. I like Full Metal Alchemist and Death Note. See what else is there. I was just talking with my PCA the other day about, like, different anime that we watch. I used to watch Dragon Ball GT when I was a kid, which is really funny because my parents didn't want me to watch it, but I would sneak off and watch it anyway. Sometimes they were a little bit weird about what they were okay with me watching and what they weren't. Because, like, on the one hand, they didn't let me watch Ren and Stimpy, which I think was a pretty good call on their part. But on the other hand, they also didn't let me watch, they didn't want me to watch Mucha Lucha. And I don't get why they did, because, like, that was a fun show, and I would sneak off and watch that too. It was totally harmless, but I can't say the same for Ren and Stimpy. So, like, some days their judgment was, like, on point, and then other days it was just like, what are you even talking about? Super Saiyan 4 for you. Yeah, that was pretty much the whole reason. Goku's Super Saiyan 4 form was the biggest reason why I watched that show. I still simp for it to this day, I admit it. That is the hottest form of Goku I have seen and will ever be made, and no one can change my mind. I've watched the earlier, like, Pokemon, like, the stuff that came out in the 90s, obviously, because I'm a man, I'm 30. I was there when it came out. Fantastic question, Wolfie, about what my favorite Pokemon is. I actually have a video that I made about it on my YouTube channel. If you're interested, I encourage you to find it and go watch it, because my favorite Pokemon is Hypno, and a lot of people hate Hypno for what I believe to be nonsensical reasons, and so I made an entire video that's like 20 or 30 minutes or something, I can't remember, just defending it because no one wants to give it a chance. It's like, but the creepypasta though, but the Pokedex though, and my whole video is just like, shut your mouth. Now, I'm gonna drop everything into a folder. Don't clip that. Don't clip that, art program. And then even though these are all individual layers, since they're all in a folder now, if I were to copy and paste the contents of said folder, now they're all one layer. Behold, Lineless Gale. Oh! Yeah, I'm gonna put that over the top of this, and then Gaussian Blur 5, and then copy and paste the hell out of this blurred version. Grab the hair color, fill in the points, and anywhere else it might not be reaching. You might be wondering exactly what I'm up to by doing this. Well, the answer to that is actually quite simple to explain. This is an easy way to color the line art. You just gotta mess around with it a little bit. Until it's at a point where you like it. Most of the time I'll like go in and color the line art manually, but when I'm feeling eepy and lazy on a day like today, this is a good alternative. And then over here, these ones are just stubbornly staying black. So these ones I will manually come in and just fix. Had a little dust speck on my screen. But yeah, like, coloring the line art serves to soften the art a little bit. This is the same sort of thing that's like typically seen in My Little Pony. And that's on purpose because this technique helps to make the pony characters look more soft. Let's see, I think I'm gonna grab that sort of dark teal color. Fix that up. And come in here, and I like to zoom in really close because, like, you can see all of these different pixels around the line and be able to just, like, grab a color that you think would work best for the outline, zoom back out, and that way you've got a color that is like straight from the source itself. And it may happen sometimes where the color that you picked kind of blends in too much with anything else. Like it's kind of blending into the jeans at the top and bottom and you can't really see the wrinkles there. No problem, just play around with the opacity until you got it to something you like. Ba-boom. Be nice to me, I'm Eepy. I think Bluey also does it. Yeah, a lot of kids shows do it, like I said, to soften their characters. There, and I'm not gonna shade Gale today because references for ARTFIGHT are encouraged to be as flat as you can make them. So even if I wanted to, I could just like make his jeans entirely flat. And as a matter of fact, I think something that I might do, let's grab the dark color and the light color. Get rid of the blended part. And then there, 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 and there. Fill those in. Whoops. I forgot I had set the expand to negative. So let's fill those in actually. And then something like a long but pointy kind of teardrop shape. Fill those in. And then that's sort of like a non-blended version of the jeans, which I know the blended version looks better, but for the sake of ARTFIGHT, this might be more helpful to the other artists. And I think I might be able to compromise a bit by just blurring the edges. all of a sudden it looks a lot better. Drop the line art into that folder. Copy. And I'll just go ahead and bring him to a new, smaller canvas. The reason I was drawing on such a big canvas was just to get him figured out, have lots of room to work with. And now that he's all planned out, I can just bring him over here and make a proper sort of character bio for him. And here's a fun little thing for people who want to learn how to make the little white edges around their character and stuff. If it's all on one layer, what you can do is right click on Metabang, and you can't see it for some reason, but it'll pull up a mini window that has a bunch of options on it, and you're going to want to click include this area as a selection. Then you can go over to select up at the top. It'll open up another window. You can hit expand, and I typically expand about 5 pixels and round the corners. Be nice to me, I don't mean to say pickle. But you do that, it expands to like just beyond the dimensions of the character itself. And then on the layer below it, you get your fill tool, your bucket tool. You set it to layer, you get yourself a white color, you fill in the selected area, and then if you have like any other character behind, you'll see that the little white outline is there, and then you can choose whether or not you want to merge the white layer and the colored layer together, but that's how you do that. Yeah, the teal isn't gonna stay, it's just like an example thing. But, yeah, that's that. And just for fun, real quick, I don't know if Connor is still in the chat, but at the idea of him still being here, I'm gonna show y'all a quick tutorial about how I draw wings. So, first things first, you don't draw the whole thing like feather by feather. You draw the basic shape that you want the wing to be. And I'm gonna be doing this shape for the wing. Bit of a weird looking shape right now, but as I fill it in, it's gonna make more sense. Now we're gonna take this shape and we're gonna break it up into a few different sections. We're gonna have a long section up here. And then we're gonna have another section kind of splitting these in half. And so what you do from there is you're gonna start with this portion, and you're just gonna make very small feather shapes. And I'm not gonna bother being perfect with this, because this is just like a very basic tutorial. But then for the second layer, you're gonna start adding your feathers, and you wanna make sure that the lines where these feathers like end or meet is in the middle of one of the feathers at the top. And now pretend that like I do it for the entire rest of the row. for the final one, you just repeat that same process, trying to keep as close as you can to the shape while also adding some dimension with the shapes of the feathers that you're drawing. And then bada bing, bada boom, suddenly you got yourself a wing. Anyway, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. It is 8 o'clock now, so I've been streaming for a good long while. I am even more EP now than I was before. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, please feel free to leave a thumbs up on the video, leave a comment once comments are open. I'll be sure to drop some links to the stuff about, like, DA Games and Saber Spark and Black Griffin and all that stuff that I was talking about earlier briefly. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and consider becoming a stellar supporter by clicking the blue join button next to the subscribe button. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I shall see you all in the next video whenever it may be. Thank you everybody so much for your support. Peace out and take care.